Hello everyone, Mike Rempel from Excel Bytes with today's Excel blog post. Today we're going to take a look at how we can use various functions in Excel to round numbers up or down based on a number of significance that's not a base 10 number. This can be used when you're trying to determine inventory purchases or packaging requirements, etc. So let's take a look and see how we can do this in Excel. So here's our scenario. We have 8 different parts in various quantities. And notice that we have to produce items based on using quantities of 72. So we need to determine if we have enough and how many items we can produce or package or purchase, whatever that might be, when we have to work on quantities of 72 or whatever that number of significance might be. So the first function we're going to look at is the ceiling function. So I'm going to go into cell C2 and I'm going to type equals ceiling, and ceiling rounds a number up to the nearest multiple of significance. So I'll hit tab, my number is what's in B2 and my number of significance is 72. So you can see it rounded it up, and I'm going to just copy that down and let's take a look at how many values it increased each of our numbers. So if I take equals our number that we had here minus the original number, you can see it increased that by 23 to get up to a multiple of 72. If I copy that down, you can see the numbers varied depending on what our quantity was, all of them increasing in order to reach a multiple of 72. So that's how you can use the ceiling function. Conversely, we can use the floor function to reduce it down. So if we say equals floor, rounds a number down to the nearest multiple of significance. I'll hit tab, go over to my quantity, comma, 72 for my number of significance, and there's the quantity there. I'm going to copy that down, and let's see what that did here. If I take equals what I have in E2 minus what we had in B2, our original number, you can see it reduced the first one by 49, etc. Each one was dropped as many as 49 to get down to a multiple of 72. Now, another approach to the same concept as we use with the floor function is the mod function. So if we take a look at that, equals mod, mod returns the remainder after a number is divided by a divisor. So if I hit tab, my number again is what we had in B2 and my divisor is 72. Close that, and you can see I would have a remainder of 49, which when I copy that down, those numbers are the absolute value of what we had when we used the floor function. You can see 49, 36, etc. So what the mod function does, it takes our original number, divides it by that number of significance, and says this is what the remainder would be after I go through that division process, which is the same as how much I would have to decrease it down using the floor function. So again, another way to the same answer. Now let's say what we wanted to do was if the value was less than 36 that we'd have to purchase or increase in order to get it up to a multiple of 72, we would increase it. But if it was more than half, we would decrease it. So the formula that we might write to do something like that would be equals if, and the logical test would be if the mod function of this number with a divisor of 72 is greater than or equal to 36, then we'll use the ceiling function for this number with a number of 72 as our number of significance. If not, then we'll use the floor function, again, with our number in B2 and 72 is our number there. Close that parentheses, close that one for the if statement, and you can see our formula here. And if I copy that down, let's take a look and see what it did to each one of our numbers. If I take equals this minus our original number, you can see there it increased it by 23 because it was less than 36, which is half of the number that we need to. Here, when it was exactly 36, again, it increased it, because if it's less, or if we said it was greater than or equal to, let's raise it up. Here, we dropped it by 26 because we need to purchase 46 in order to raise it up. So instead, let's just drop it 26. And it's continuing all the way down. So this way, we figured out if we wanted to get all the numbers in multiples of 72, if it's less than half of that amount or equal to it, let's raise it up. If it's greater than that, we'll drop it down. And so that's what this formula does. But instead of writing a formula like that, we can just use the mRound function. So if I typed equals mRound, it returns a number rounded to the desired multiple. And with the mRound function, if it's equal to or greater than half of the amount, it will round it up. If it's less than, it will round it down. So let's see what happens here. Again, our number is what's in B2. Our multiple is 72. And you can see, as I copy that down and compare it to the formula that we wrote, that it will match exactly with our formula that used the mod, ceiling, and floor function. So that's what mRound does. Again, it will round the number to that multiple of significance. If it's greater than or equal to half, it'll round it up. If it's less than, it will round it down. So if we take the numbers that we had with our mRound or our if statement function, if I take that, say, equals that number divided by 72, you'll see that we have no remainder in any of our numbers. There's no partials or any remainders left over. They're all equally divided by 72. So there's various ways that you can use either the ceiling, the floor, the mod, mRound, or create an if statement, and you want to round either up or down by a certain multiple of significance. And there you have it. I hope you like what you see. If you do like what you see here, please take a minute to share this post on your favorite social network. I can be found on Facebook, Google+, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So I hope you enjoy this. If you'd like to see more, please feel free to stop by my website, excel-bytes.com, and I hope you subscribe. So have a great day and happy excelling.